Well, I think we're live, so I'm going to give it a few minutes. We just found out that Unearthed Arcana 2025 Arcane Subclasses just dropped, and we're going to look at this live. And yeah, it's been a minute since I've actually used my YouTube channel. I'm going to start creating content on this YouTube channel again. That means interviews, breakdowns, character builds, all sorts of different things like that. This is the first time I've actually directly streamed to YouTube, so hopefully everything's going well on that front as well. So we are going to give it a few minutes. I am looking over the new playtest packet right now, and we will dive in very shortly. So if there's any questions in chat, feel free to go ahead. Let's see. This is why you typically should have a waiting screen. So for people who are coming in. But this, like I said, is on the fly. I am reacting in real time. So let's see. And thank you for everyone who's joining right now. Oh, audio and video look great. Thank you so much. Perfect. Yeah, in about 5 minutes, we will dive into Unearthed Arcana. And then once this VOD is done and the stream is done, I'm going to shave off like the intro and all that stuff. So, yeah. Yes, I have returned. Yeah. I love this stuff. I love breaking down things like this and examining things, and I'm never going to stop doing that. I love tabletop. That's very kind. Yeah, it's been a interesting week for sure. So perfect. All right. Gonna give it a minute or so as people get informed. Again, I know I've got plenty of subscribers on this YouTube channel, but it's been a long time since I activated it, so YouTube tends to not blast a bunch of people immediately. So if you have not been using your YouTube channel in a while, that's very kind. Thank you. Yeah, I will be creating a whole lot more content moving forward. I have a Patreon. I am going to be continuing to do the same interviews I've always done. I'm going to try to, using Patreon, get the funds to attend things like Gen Con, flying down to LA to interview some folks I know down there, and interviewing other people in the tabletop industry, and of course all my friends who still work on D&D. If I can. So, yeah, you will see the same type of content you expected before from this channel. Yes, I will be covering different tabletop games for sure, and I will definitely be covering Daggerheart. I can tell you that much. Yeah. I'm not going to answer some of these questions in chat. Because I can't. I don't know. Yeah, but I appreciate the sentiment. Thank you so much. I'm also testing out Streamlabs' mod thing, so if they're saying things like refrain from using all caps, I don't care about that. I'll get that fixed. So, again, we'll go give it a few more minutes. We got 20 viewers. That's actually surprising for a channel that I've not used in like 4 years. So, that's pretty exciting. I have not shared this on social media in any way because I wasn't really expecting to do a stream today. So, a bit rusty on all of that. So, let me go ahead, and if anyone else wants to share out the stream as well. But what we're basically going to be doing today is we're going to look at the new Unearthed Arcana, specifically about arcane classes. I'm pretty invested in this already. I gave a quick skim. I've always been a big fan of the Arcane Archer, and we'll delve into that. So thank you so much. Thank you for all the positive comments, by the way. Yes, I do have to say in the last week, I did not expect as many heartfelt and kind comments from everyone in the community and people in the industry. It was almost blink twice. It was kind of overwhelming, honestly, and it was very lovely. So thank you all for all your messages of support. It's been greatly appreciated. Sometimes when you're doing a job like that or like this, you kind of end up in a bubble, and you don't necessarily realize that you're having any kind of impact on other people. I'm a pretty quiet person in real life, so so I'm an I'm introvert by nature. All right. I think we've given enough time. We should probably start jumping in. I will share some of this stuff out on social media really quick, and then I will get into it. Meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Yeah, I love tabletop games. They have literally saved my life. For those that don't know, I had a PTSD from a pretty interesting job as a photojournalist and saw a lot of crime scenes and stuff like that, and walked away from like a really hard year in my life where I was actually in 2 shootings. But when I got back, I was different. And tabletop games and D&D really helped me kind of realign and take a break from myself. And weirdly enough, be less dramatic. Because I just got to sit around with my friends and not be myself for like a couple hours. And that was extremely therapeutic. So yeah, but by the way, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Check out the Patreon. It's actually in a somewhat rough state right now. I'm still working on some of the rewards, but beyond just doing the video interviews, video breakdowns, shorts, stuff like that, I am actually starting to design content. So I will be starting to release playtest materials in the form of PDFs and stuff like that. I do want to try to move towards publishing my own book. So if there are any other questions in chat before we jump in, please let me know. I am one-man banding this, as you are probably not shocked. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of you. Very kind messages. Any live play plans at the moment? Live play... I have live play thoughts. So I know a bunch of people who do live play. That stuff is more complex to spin up immediately, and I've definitely talked to some people about, shows that would be really great for the community to see out there, and people I've absolutely had a joy working with. But yeah, I'm really excited to try to make a book. I am relatively new to design. I did work on D&D Beyond had a product called Runeterra for about 1 day before it got pulled. And that was based off, League of Legends Runeterra, and it was really good. And I did the first pass on the subclasses in that, and I was also like kind of the head lead on that. And then James Hake was like the real head lead, because James Hake is a wildly talented human being. And actually the person who fixed the subclasses that I did my initial pass on was Mackenzie DeArmas, who is just insanely talented and a wonderful human being. By the way, this Unearthed Arcana, I believe, is by Amanda Hammond, Mackenzie DeArmas, and also, oh my God, what's Ron's last name? I'm a bad friend. I feel bad. Does it show the name on here? Ron is a wonderful human being. That's all you need to know. So I have not hung out long enough with Ron. A tour of my studio? My studio is a loft. So yes, I can do a tour eventually of the studio for sure. For those that have just joined, we're about to jump into Unearthed Arcana. I'm gonna probably trim all this front off, and for the purposes of time, and yeah, I need to find. They're making this weirdly hard to get. There we go. Perfect. I'll make sure I don't hear myself. All right. Just sending out a tweet right now. Then where else should we be doing this? I think that's good for now. I think mostly social media doesn't link to YouTube very well. So, it's just kind of how it goes. All right. I think we're set. 58 viewers for someone who has not streamed on their YouTube channel in 4 or 5 years is a result. So, I will take it. Yeah, this book will also be equally spooky. I will say that I have always been a fan of supernatural creatures, and I've always wanted to play them. So, the book I'm working on, where you'll see playtest materials for in my Patreon, will definitely have rules around. I've always wanted to play a vampire. I've always wanted to play a werewolf. I think we all kind of do, and want to have consequences around that. So cracking that alchemy of making that work for the dungeon master and the player without alienating the rest of the party is something I'm very invested in figuring out. So, yeah, I don't want to give away too much of all the things I'm working on, and that'll change week to week, day to day. So, all right, let's go ahead and start diving into Unearthed Arcana. Thank you for everyone who's joined, and this is a good moment to try to edit this in YouTube Studio, which, whoo, it's so hard. I am friends with everyone on the D&D design team and the art team, and they are the loveliest, most creative, most supportive human beings on the planet that I've ever worked with. Yeah, I talk to Chris and Jeremy because they're my friends. So I do talk to them, and I appreciate them. They are just absolutely, genuinely kind-hearted and ridiculously talented people. So it's hard not to see them every day. And when I see them, I mean Chris, Jeremy, the entire art team, the entire design team. You take things for granted when you are working side by side with your friends. For sure. That's very lovely. All right, are we ready? We got 73 viewers, which is a lot more than I thought we'd get. Is everyone ready for us to kind of like start to dive in? Otherwise, this is just going to be me. Can you speak? No. I'm only going to tell you about what I'm going to be doing, about the love I have for the D&D team, and yeah, it's been a crazy week for sure, but I think the only way is move forward, and I think we need a lot more positivity in this world. So I always try to sure, it's definitely been a hard week. I will not lie, but you just have to keep on working and keep going. And it may be an uphill battle to get new YouTube subscribers again and get the Patreon working, because that's going to be probably my primary source of income in the interim. So, but I also don't want, I think the problem with Patreon sometimes can be like, it's just subscribe and you don't get anything. So I want to make sure people are getting the video interviews they love, breakdowns, even funny videos, and then also things like actual player-facing content. I love thinking about player-facing content all day long. It's something I daydream about. It's something I find relaxing. sometimes, unless I get a really good idea, and then I have to obsessively set up my computer and write notes, which I do all the time. So I think all of you are probably like me in that regard. So yeah. Oh, perfect. How about we just go ahead and wait until we get 100 viewers? We're 80 viewers at this point. I think 100 is like a good, healthy spot to be. Thank you. I cannot tell all of you enough what the messages on Twitter, on all social media, on Twitter, have meant to me, and also the creator community around D&D. All of them are so kind and have reached out and have wanted to talk, and hopefully we get to do a lot of collaborations in the future that, you know, weren't necessarily possible before. So I'm really kind of excited about that. I am trying to figure out a way to raise funds to get to Gen Con. It's hard to get to Gen Con this late. So I'm working on it. Just reading the chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah. I really should hit up Blue Sky. Yeah, I know. Blue Sky is actually such a really great place right now for... I don't know that I'm signed in to Blue Sky on this computer, though, so... I will go ahead and try. I feel like a massive amount of the D&D community actually moved over to Blue Sky. But I could be wrong. Any other questions? Let's see. Oh. It worked. Okay, let me go and post on Blue Sky. And thank you for your patience for holding on. I really do appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah, I do love Blue Sky, actually. I found it very responsive. Idle Champions, just a bunch of lovely human beings, again. But I genuinely miss the Idle Champions, folks. I got to work with some of the most amazing people. Chris Dupuis, Dylan, Lauren Urban, V, Eric, all of them were so kind. That was a really good crew of people to get to work with every day, for sure. Thank you. Yes, I'm very proud of this room. We actually, before we get started, this is the tragedy of this room. That is a streaming table from North Carolina Gaming. It is specifically for streaming. We bought that table, and 2 weeks later, because we were going to do this big live play show in our house, in this loft. And 2 weeks after we got the desk delivered, which was not cheap, COVID happened. So we've never gotten to use it for a live play game. Which is what happens when you make plans, right? I don't have an intake for business inquiries right now, but yeah, for sure. As per usual, I'm going to start rolling out these videos because I don't know how to do anything else. I'm not good with downtime, so I just will start doing interviews, start making my own videos, build videos. So yeah, I do need to set up an email for business inquiries and for sponsorships and things like that. Yeah, that would be wise. It's only been a week, so I'm adapting on the fly. Reading again. Yeah, I am pretty proud of the room setup. I gotta tell you, those bookcases were a nightmare for me to put in. I'm never doing that again. I would probably snap my back in half if I did. Yeah, DMing me on socials is totally fine, if they are open, for sure. And like I said, going to attempt to get to Gen Con For those that do go to Gen Con, hopefully I see you there. Oh yeah, we're 20 minutes in. I should start. If anyone has any other pressing questions before we get into UA, let me know. But we are definitely going to hop in there. I do see a lot more questions. Mega Millions would be nice, yeah. I would love to win the lottery. That would be great. So, I may need to sell a bunch of Magic cards actually at Gen Con. I have quite the collection. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Yep, thank you. Oh, we're at 95. Once we get to 100, and again, check out the Patreon link. It's probably gonna pop in there once in a while. It's probably in the description for this video, I hope. And we will get started. But for now, that is how I'm gonna try to make my living. As a content creator again, it's definitely intimidating after having a full-time job for 3 years. But yeah. Thank you very much. I don't think it's kind of you to say I'm a class act. I appreciate that. I did not expect to be streaming today, actually. I considered it like I figured like if a UA popped up, I'm like, maybe I will. And I was about to go for a walk, and then UA showed up. I'm like, I have to do it. In my bones, I have to stream because the UA dropped. It would have felt really weird if I had not done it. So we're doing it. I'll probably like cut this part out or maybe make it a separate video. I am going to have so this is, I guess, accidentally, this is the soft launch of my Patreon. I'm going to do a full launch probably next week, possibly. Because I really actually intended to have like a bigger launch for the Patreon. I did not intend for it to be today. But, you know, again, best laid plans, right? I mean, for those that don't know, and it's a weird history of how I got started in D&D, and this is a good thing for all content creators to know, is that... One second... I got a message. I originally started out doing my own YouTube channel, which is what this YouTube channel is. And what happened was I was just doing this on my own time. And full disclosure, at NBC News, I was the editor-in-chief of video game coverage for NBC, like nationally. And that content did incredibly well. There were layoffs. This is about the time when G4 got shut down. And then, but the one thing they wouldn't really let me do, because the viewership was so low, was do tabletop games in D&D. So after I left NBC News, I started up my own YouTube channel just to cover D&D. And the first day I met Chris Perkins, Jeremy Crawford, Emmy from the art team, and others, I just fell in love with that whole group because they were such smart, funny, kind, heavily worked folks. And I realized that's what I wanted to do for a living. That's what I wanted to do with my life. And so I just kept on doing that YouTube channel just on D&D. And then, this is just kind of the nature of the business, I had a job at Amazon making comedy videos. We got laid off from that. And that's when I reached out to Adam Bradford at D&D Beyond. And I basically said, let me start making content. I want to be in charge of the articles, the social media, YouTube. I'm going to start making that content for D&D Beyond. And like weeks later, I was working at D&D Beyond, and I was one of the founding members because it had not even launched yet. It was well before that. So that is how I came to be on D&D Beyond. I eventually quit D&D Beyond, started up my channel again. And then I got reached out to by some folks at Wizards of the Coast to join up with Wizards of the Coast and do D&D stuff for them. And now we're back to my YouTube channel again. So it's been a journey. Oh yeah, 112. That's good. Unearthed Arcana can be kind of hard to find on D&D Beyond, so I think if you look under sources, you can find it. Or, honestly, Google D&D Beyond, Unearthed Arcana, and then you'll find it. But it's not as visible as it used to be. Wow, 116. That's amazing. Well, thank you everyone for joining. I want to do a whole lot more of this, so let folks know I'm back. I'm actually sending a friend a message. I'm actually letting Colby know. So. Oh, weird. Maybe refresh your cache? I've got it up right now. Do you want me to go ahead and investigate it? Is anyone else not being able to see UA on the website? And everyone can hear me okay? I think everyone can see it. So let's go ahead and dive in. We're at 118. I think that's fantastic. We've had about 26 minutes of chit-chat. Oh, okay. Well, weird. I have a page up, and I'm just going to stick to that page unless it disappears. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, everyone. Hello, everyone. Today, Unearthed Arcana just released a new... Let me start that over again. You're watching me live do this. By the way, I do 100 takes. Hello, everyone. Today, we are looking at Unearthed Arcana 2025 Arcane Subclasses, and there is a lot to dive in. There are a lot of classes, a lot of classes and subclasses I deeply love. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to go and switch to the left, and let's hope this works properly because I am one-man banding it. So, okay. So this is Unearthed Arcana 2025 Arcane Subclasses. This is playtest material. I will remind you, typically with playtest material, including my own that's on my Patron right now that will eventually go live, we tend to, at least the people I know who do playtests, and I don't know if this is currently true, you make it a little more powerful because it's easier to scale things down in power than make things more powerful later. It can be a little bit more difficult just for design reasons. So keep that in mind. This is playtest material, and the best way that you can actually leave feedback for the game design team, which are wonderfully talented human beings, and want your feedback and look at your feedback, is to use those surveys to give your feedback. That is honestly the best way. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. So what's inside of this document? We've got some pretty cool stuff. We've already, we've got the Cleric Arcane Domain. We've got the Fighter Arcane Archer, which I'm very excited is in this because I am a huge fan of archery in D&D and the concept of arcane energy and being an archer. That comes from, if you're really old school, the complete Book of Elves had basically the first kind of bits and pieces that would later become the Arcane Archer. So very excited to see that revamped because Arcane Archer probably not used as much. I played it quite a bit in the 2014 iteration from, I believe, Xanathar's, and I'd say a little underpowered in that version. So, I have a so a little bit underpowered in that version. I'm excited for this one. We've got Warlock, Hexblade, Patron, and we've got the Wizard, Conjurer, Enchanter, Necromancer, and the Transmuter. And then we have a new subclass for the Monk, Tattooed Warrior, and we also have Ancestral Sorcery, which is really exciting. So let's go ahead and dive in. As always, this is playtest material. So, that's right. I have to switch this. This is the weird thing about streaming in the format is you have to move things around a bunch. Okay, for subclasses, this is the Arcane Domain. This is a blend of conviction and also arcane power. This has always been kind of an interesting subclass because you're trying to... A cleric that worships the arcane is quite interesting. I mean, I can see this kind of being something that very Mistra oriented, right? I could see, honestly, Gale from Baldur's Gate 3 being part of this domain. So we'll go in. Magic suffuses the multiverse and fuels both destruction and creation. Clerics with this domain view magical knowledge not as power to be used in the pursuit of personal ends, but as a gift, and they have the responsibility to share it. Gods associated with the arcane domain know the secrets and potential of magic immediately. These gods are often connected to knowledge, as learning and arcane power tend to go hand in hand, or secrecy or power. Or to secrecy or power. So, there's a couple things that have changed. Domain spells, Initiate has changed, so you have expertise in Arcana skill, which is really nice. Modify Magic is a new feature that replaces Arcane Abjuration, which is great. Dispelling Recovery. Okay, now using Dispel Magic also triggers when you remove a condition from a creature. That's nice. Arcane Mastery now lets you change the wizard spells you choose. Very cool. So, we're not going to necessarily do a super massive deep dive into these, just initial thoughts. So I'm going to go move over here. We get Detect Magic, Magic Missile, Magic Weapon. Oh, Magic Aura is good. Counterspell, Dispel Magic, Arcane Eye, Secret Chest, Bigby's Hand, Teleportation Circle. Again, you've got the Arcana skill. You get Expertise. That makes total sense. I'm glad that we're seeing some other folks get Expertise for a change. Modify Magic. You can now channel your divinity to alter your spells as you cast them. Oh, coming after the sorcerers. When you cast a spell, you can expend one use of your channel divinity and change the spell in one of the following ways. No action required, which is great. Fortify spell. One target of the spell gains a number of temporary hit points equal to 2d8 plus your cleric level. I'm thinking of the weirdness of hitting someone with a damaging spell and then giving them temp HP. I don't know what I would do with that, other than some weird form of torture, but temp HP, 2d8 is nothing to sneeze at. Tenacious spell. When you cast a spell that forces a creature to make a saving throw, you choose one target of that spell you can see, roll 1d6, and apply the number rolled as a penalty to the target's saving throw. So that's almost like it's an empowered spell for sorcerers. I think it's kind of similar, but hey, I'll take anything that debuffs the enemy and makes a saving throw a bit harder. I always love that stuff, if anyone who knows me. Dispelling Recovery immediately after you cast a spell with a spell slot. That restores hit points to creatures or ends a condition on a creature. Standard stuff. Bonus action without expending a spell slot. So you can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. This can be very clutch sometimes, especially when you get a party shut down. So that's nice. Then we've got Arcane Mastery. You learn 4 wizard spells from each of the levels 6, 7, 8, and 9, and therefore always have those spells prepared. Whenever you gain a cleric level, you can replace one of those spells with another wizard spell of the same level. That's nice. So, okay. This one I'm excited about. Arcane Archer. Again, I love Arcane Archers. I love the concept. So let's go ahead. Oh, Colby's in the chat. Hey, Colby. Let's go ahead and dive into the Arcane Archer. Deploy magical effects through enchanted ammunition. I already love the wording of this for very specific reasons. I'm actually working on a subclass that is very ammunition focused myself right now for my Patreon. It's not identical to this, but I think it's something that everyone's been kind of chasing in the community to make the ultimate ammunition arcane shooter. So this is a nice step in the direction. An Arcane Archer studies the unique elven method of archery that weaves magic into attacks and produces supernatural effects. The first Arcane Archers stood watch over their communities, keeping a keen eye out for dangers, and using magic-infused arrows to defeat monsters and invaders. Over the centuries, other species have learned elven mystical methods of blending arcane aptitude with archery and broadened their application to ranged weapons of many kinds while applying those talents to an adventuring life. I just love that first paragraph. It tells a story that elves, had this harmony with their bows and arrows, created this really awesome way of defending their communities, but then other folks learned it too, and maybe appropriate it in different ways, right? Like it's like the invention of gunpowder. Started using it in a different way. So here's some design notes. This is originally from Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Arcane Archer lore now gives you proficiency in both Arcana and Nature skills. It's nice. Arcane Shot has been redesigned. This feature now allows you to use any weapon. And this used to drive me bonkers. I couldn't use a crossbow or a pistol or any other type of ranged weapon with Arcane Archery. This now says you can absolutely use any ranged weapon. Let's see, anything with the ammunition property you can now use, which is fantastic. You now use the Arcane Shot die. It grants for extra damage in the options you select. How weird would it be to have an Arcane Archer that's using a sling? just the world's most deadly halfling, or Kender. Ever-ready shot is now available at a lower level, which is really nice because running out of those shots can happen pretty fast. Improved shot, powerful shots, and masterful shots are new features that improve your arcane shot die. They incorporate prior damage increases to your arcane shot option, but spread the increase across more levels of play. This is super important because the Arcane Archer didn't necessarily scale as well as before. I feel like this is going to solve that particular issue. Sorry, I'm talking a lot more today than I expected. So, let's dive into the Arcane Archer lore. You learn magical theory, secrets of nature, granting you the following benefits. You know either Druidcraft or the predestinate. I'm not saying it. Guys, I've never learned this. I've been working on D&D for 8 years. Predestination. I can't do it. Digitation. No. All right, let's... I have no way of deleting this moment from the video. I've never been able to say this cantrip. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability for it. Skills. You gain proficiency in Arcana and Nature skills. You already have one of these proficiencies. Instead, you gain... If you already have one of those, you gain proficiency in a different skill of your choice, or with 2 other skills if you have both. So that's nice. So nothing gets wasted, which is something that happens a lot. You learn, at level 3, you learn Arcane Shot. You learn special magical effects with some of your shots. Arcane Shot options. You learn 2 Arcane Shot options of your choice from... Let's see, where are we at? All right, we gotta move down. We gotta move to the left. Shot options. Later in the subclass's description, you learn an additional Arcane Shot option of your choice when you reach... fighter levels of 7, 10, 15, 18. Each time you learn a new Arcane Shot option, you can also replace one option you knew with a different one. This is pretty standard stuff and things that you kind of did around your playstyle when you were playing with your friends. Probably you don't want to get stuck to one Arcane Shot if you're just not feeling it. So that's nice. I will go back to speech therapy so I can learn how to say that word. Thank you. Prestidigitation. 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 Oh, wow. Thank you, chat. You cured me. Arcane Shot. Once per turn, when you make ranged attacks using a weapon with your ammunition property, you can apply one of your Arcane Shot options to that attack. You decide to use the option. When you hit a creature and deal damage to it, unless the option doesn't involve an attack roll. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier. That's fantastic. You regain all expended uses when you finish a short or long rest. Wow. You decide to use this option when you hit a creature when you deal damage. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier. I thought they were going to go with proficiency bonus. I'm really excited for the intelligence modifier, so you're not running out of shots right away. I think that's really fantastic. Arcane Shot Die. Arcane Shot option refers to your Arcane Shot Die. Your Arcane Shot Die is a D6. Saving throws, if your Arcane Shot option requires a saving throw, it's equal to 8 plus your intelligence modifier plus your proficiency bonus. Pretty typical. At level 7, one of my favorites, it's kind of the fantasy of having this subclass, is Curving Shot. You learn how to direct an errant shot towards a new target. If you make an attack roll with a weapon with the ammunition property, and it misses as a bonus action, you immediately, after the attack, can make an extra attack with the same weapon against a different target that you can see. This is within the weapon's long range, and that isn't behind total cover. This extra attack does not require ammunition. So I love that, yeah, even if you miss a shot, somehow you improvise hitting another target potentially. Also at level 7 is Ever Ready Shot, which is nice. When you roll initiative and you have no uses of our Arcane Shot left, you regain 1 expended use of it. So this is really helpful for those who, you got into combat, you gave it your all, you used all your Arcane Shots, at least you get 1 more in case something else pops off. This is interesting. Level 10, 15, and 18, your die increases. Level 10 becomes a D8 for your Arcane Shot, then a D10, D12. It's scaling. That's nice. And let's go ahead and look at what we're looking at here for Arcane Shot options. A lot of these look like oldies but goodies. Let's see. Your magic temporarily sequesters your target in a harmless demi-plane. The creature you hit takes additional psychic damage equal to 1 roll of your Arcane Shot die and must succeed on a Charisma saving throw or be banished. While banished, the creature has the incapacitated condition and it has a speed of 0. At the end of its next turn, the target reappears in the space it left, or if that space is occupied, in the nearest occupied space. This is it's situational. I've done this before, and this is also from Xanathar's. I've found it quite helpful. So, Beguiling Shot. Your magic causes the ammunition to temporarily beguile your target. When you hit, it takes additional psychic damage equal to 2 rolls of your Arcane Shot die. That's really nice. It must succeed a Wisdom saving throw or have the Charmed condition until the start of your next turn, treating either you or your allies within 30 feet of the target, your choice, as the Charmer. So I like that you can now, I don't know that was true before, but now you can actually have someone else effectively charm the target. You could kind of end combat for that person if someone's getting picked on, being hit. That's pretty cool. I like that. The charmed condition ends early if the charmer attacks the target, deals damage to it, and forces it to make a saving throw. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like the idea that you can kind of save, Cupid's bow, and you can save a friend. Bursting Shot, it's classic. You imbue your ammunition with explosive force energy immediately after you deal damage to the creature, your target, and each creature within 10 feet of the emanation originating from the target takes force damage equal to 2 rolls of your Arcane die. I like that this isn't fire damage. Force damage is very hard to resist, so it's solid. And again, this is all going to scale. In Enfeebling Shot, your ammunition saps your target's strength. The creature you hit takes an additional necrotic damage equal to 2 rolls of your Arcane die. The target must also succeed on a Constitution saving throw or have the poison condition until the end of its next turn. Whenever a target poisoned in this way hits with an attack roll, it subtracts an amount equal to 1 roll of your Arcane Shot die from the total damage. Interesting. Definitely, bigger monsters, big Constitution saving throws, not going to be as effective, but this can really shut down some other attacks that you get from other monsters. Grasping Shot is one of my favorites. Your ammunition creates clutching brambles around your target. The creature you take The creature you hit takes additional slashing damage equal to 1 roll of your arcane shot die. It must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained until the start of your next turn. The target or a creature within reach of it can take an attack action to make a strength athletics check to get out of it. Typical DC. So, really fun stuff if you're a fan of arcane archery. Piercing shot. I love this one. I don't know about anyone else. You give your ammunition an ethereal quality. When you use this option, you can basically attack. You don't make an attack roll. It's almost like a miniature lightning bolt, effectively. Your ammunition shoots forward in a 30-foot line that is 1 foot wide, originating from you, and then vanishes. The line ignores cover as the ammunition phases through solid objects. Each creature in the line must make a dexterity saving throw or a failed save. On a failed save, a creature takes damage as if it were hit, plus additional piercing damage equal to 2 rolls of your arcane shot die. On a successful save, a creature takes half as much damage. This is one of my favorite things ever. This allows you to shoot through a door and hit targets on the other side. It allows you to shoot through walls, hit multiple targets that are in the hallway. I've found this to be really effective and really fun. And it kind of reminds you every time John Wick shoots through a wall and hits their target. This is kind of very much that kind of ammunition fantasy. So it'd be weird to see on guns and crossbows. Also slings, terrifying. Seeking shot, another great one. You grant your ammunition the ability to seek out its target. When you use this option, you don't make an attack roll for the attack. Instead, you choose one creature you have seen in the last minute. Love this. So fun. I just love the idea of just shooting, not even looking at your target and just shooting up in the air, not towards your target and hitting them. It's so fun. Great role play. Instead of you choose one creature you have seen in the last minute, the ammunition flies towards that creature, moving around corners if necessary, ignoring half cover and 3/4 cover. If the target is within your weapon's long range, the target must make a dexterity saving throw, otherwise the ammunition disappears after traveling as far as it can. That's weird. Let me read that again. If the target is within your weapon's long range, the target must make a dexterity saving throw. Otherwise, the ammunition disappears traveling. Okay, yeah. On a failed save, the target takes damage as if it was hit, plus an additional force damage equal to 2 rolls of your arcane shot die. And you learn the target's current location. That's... okay. On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage, so you're not wasting it completely. I really like this. Yeah. I don't know. What's everyone else's assessment? I think that's pretty strong. Plus, I also like knowing where the target is very specifically. Yeah. Man, I can imagine like a chase through the streets and you kind of save the day by finding the target. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Shadow Shot. This is interesting. Your magic occludes your foe's vision with the shadows. The creature you hit takes additional psychic damage equal to 1 roll of your arcane die, and it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or have the blinded condition until the end of its next turn. Pretty nasty stuff. So, I think I'm still the biggest fan of Piercing Shot, Seeking Shot. The one with Brambles is pretty strong as well. So, yeah. I think this is a great one for a gunfighter, and the only thing I would say is I'd love to see more shots. The more the merrier, I think. Because especially when you look at the Battlemaster and how much the Battlemaster can do, I feel like Arcane Archer is always kind of competing with the Battlemaster on some level. So, all right, Tattooed Warrior Monk. I have not been able to really take a look at this. And if there are any questions in chat, let me know. Yeah, you could definitely build Marvel's Hood. All right, this seems pretty cool. Tattooed Warrior Monk. Drawing on a diverse body marking traditions from across the multiverse, tattoo warriors can use arcane power Imbued in their magic tattoos, these monks gain tattoos as they grow in martial prowess and insight. Tattooed warriors can cause their tattoos to change shape. Oh, that's cool. And to access a versatile suite of physical and magical effects to overcome foes. That is cool as hell. Oh, I'm going to love this. Okay. Magical tattoos level 3. You gain magic tattoos described by other features of this subclass. The tattoos appear on your body wherever you wish. Damage or injury does not impair these magical tattoos' function. A magic tattoo's depiction can look like a brand, scarification, birthmark, patterns of scale. Oh, I like that for Dragonborn. Or any other cosmetic alteration. If a tattoo's effect requires a saving throw, very typical stuff, DC equals 8 plus your wisdom modifier, plus your proficiency bonus. Your spellcasting ability for spells granted by this tattoo is wisdom. We all know this stuff. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can reshape one of those magical tattoos. Sorry about that. You can reshape one of those magical tattoos, changing the option, and you choose from one of the lists. Choose one from the list below. So let's go ahead and dive in. Beast tattoos. You gain 2 animal tattoos. Choose 2 tattoos from the following options. This feels like the Arcane Archer monk. And I like having all those abilities. Yeah, bat. We need more bat stuff. Dancing Lights cantrip. When you expend 1 focus point to use Patient Defense or Step of the Wind, you gain Blind Sight within a range of 10 feet for 1 minute. It's really thematic, on point. Butterfly. The Light cantrip. You can expend 1 focus point to cast Silent Image without material components. That's fun. I like using that illusion. Chameleon. The Minor Illusion cantrip, and you can spend 1 focus point to cast Disguise Self. This might be my new favorite monk. I'm concerned. Crane. The Guidance cantrip. When you miss a creature with an attack granted by your flurry of blows, you can have advantage on attack rolls for any remaining unarmed strikes with that use of flurry of blows. That's nasty. Horse. The Message cantrip. You can expend 1 focus point to cast Long Strider without material components. You are like the fastest monk. This is pretty nuts. I love how many there are of this. I love it. Spider. The Mending cantrip, and when you hit a creature with an attack granted by your flurry of blows, the creature has disadvantage on its next attack roll before the start of your next turn. I'm glad it's not the poison condition. I'm glad that they get disadvantage. You're kind of tying them up. I love it. It totally makes sense. The only reason for those at home, I'm not streaming on Twitch right now because I don't have the mods. So this was not the plan. The tattoos for the monk this is really cool. I think a lot of people are going to love this subclass already. For the tortoise, the Spare of the Dying cantrip. You can expend 1 focus point to cast False Life without material components. I love classes that allow you to customize. That's my favorite thing. I think I'm already in love with this, and we're not even at level 6. Celestial Tattoo. At level 6, you gain an additional magic tattoo depicting a celestial phenomenon. Choose a tattoo from the following options. You can expend 2 focus points to cast... Whoa, you get more? This is nuts. Comet. You can expend 2 focus points to cast Find Traps. Okay. Crescent Moon. You can expend, and yep, everything is working on the live stream. Crescent Moon. You can expend 2 focus points to cast Misty Step. Solid. Eclipse. You can expend 2 focus points to cast Invisibility without material components. Nice. Sunburst. You can expend 2 focus points to cast Lesser Restoration. Oh my god, you just keep on getting tattoos. Now, what I love about this is the most dangerous monk in this subclass, you can tell because their whole body is covered. At level 7, Nature Tattoo. You get an additional magical tattoo depicting the natural, a natural feature. Choose a tattoo from the following options. Mountain. As a magic action, you can expend 3 focus points to gain resistance to acid damage and advantage on Constitution saving throws for 1 minute. Very, very specific. Storm. As a magic action, you can expend 3 focus points to gain resistance to lightning damage and advantage on dexterity saving throws for 1 minute. Volcano. As a magic action, you can expend 3 focus points to gain resistance to fire damage and advantage on strength saving throws for 1 minute. I like that there's 2 effects for each of these, for sure. And Wave. As a magic action, you can expend 3 focus points to gain resistance to cold damage and an advantage on wisdom saving throws for 1 minute. Yeah, I like how the tattoos just keep on. Oh, how can you not want to get this far? Monster Tattoo, level 17. You gain a magic tattoo depicting a supernatural creature. Choose a tattoo from the following options. Beholder, just right in the middle of your chest. Just a big Beholder tattoo. You gain a fly speed of 10 feet. And you can hover, like a Beholder does. Additionally, you can expend 3 focus points to cast Counterspell. Alright. It's nasty for a monk. Blink Dog, you can expend a focus point to use Patient Defense. Oh, when you do, you can expend 3 focus points to cast Blink immediately after that bonus action. Okay? Displacer Beast, when you expend a focus point for Flurry of Blows or Step of the Wind, you can expend 2 focus points to cast Mirror Image. That's what I thought. Immediately after the bonus action. Cool. Guardian Naga, when you would be reduced to 0 hit points, but you're not killed outright, your hit points instead change to the number equal to twice your monk level. Okay, that's nice. That's better than 1 hit point. Once you use this benefit, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. That's beefy. Good lord. I think Tattoo Monk is a big winner in this. Hey, I'm always a big fan of being able to change things like that. More awesome. But I like the flavor of this. I really love new subclasses. New subclasses are the thing I fall in love with because I personally don't think I can get enough of new subclasses because everyone's got like a different type of fantasy that they have when it comes to D&D or any tabletop game. I always get the idea of oversaturation, but everyone's got a different type of rogue they want to play, or even a different type of assassin they want to play, or a different type of... Everyone's got something that is niche for them. So I feel like the more subclasses we have, which is hard to balance, certainly, but, Tattooed Monk, this really speaks to a lot of people I know. It's just cool. And it feels like you can see this character walk out from a movie or a TV show that you've been watching and make perfect sense. So... yeah, it's really cool. Sorry, I need a little bit of green tea because I'm talking a lot. Thank you, everyone, for watching. So, Ancestral Sorcery. This is interesting. Bear the power of spellcasting's lineage. I wonder how this stacks up against wild magic. I wonder if it's kind of like its opposite. Though that would be clockwork sorcery. Your innate magic comes from a specific ancestor. Who wielded such awesome magical power that a fragment of their personality guides you. It's not quite Raceland and Festandantalos, but there's a vibe. Also, what if your chances are your ancestor might have been a jerk. So this is already great role playing. If your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather ended up becoming an evil lich, and you're related to them, and this is where you're getting your magic from, interesting. So, you might be the ancestor's sole survivor descendant, a reincarnation who bears an eerie resemblance to your ancestor. I love that. Oh, that's so cool. Sorry. If your ancestor, you're related to them and they became a lich and they're still alive and you are kind of their reincarnation, that gets so weird. That's the first thing I would do. Yeah, that'd be amazing. Or if like Strahd had to run into himself, reincarnated, that'd be so weird. Anyways, so you have an eerie resemblance to your ancestor, or a victim of a curse gained from handling your ancestor's personal effects. Cool. Yeah, good roleplay here though. These two new subclasses are killing it. My hat's off to the design team. Level 3, Ancestor's Lore. You can use the force of your personality to channel your ancestor's knowledge. When you make an intelligence check, you can gain a bonus to that check equal to your charisma modifier. I love that. Mana of +1. That's nice. There's some checks. This is kind of like the Reborn. Not quite like the Reborn mechanic that we saw in Lineages from Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, but that's another example of, hey, you've got inherited memory. I'm actually working on a hive vampire right now as a species that has a similar effect of like, you know things you probably shouldn't know, because you just have that inherited memory from other blood lineages, and you see that kind of in effect in Sinners as well. So it's something I've always enjoyed about vampires, having some kind of genetic memory. You gain a proficiency bonus in one of these skills of your choice: Arcana, History, Investigation, Nature, or Religion. Also at level 3, Ancestral Spells. When you reach a sorcery level specified in the Ancestral spells table, you thereafter always have the listed spells prepared. So, Command. Interesting. Guidance, of course. Locate object. Makes sense. Protection against evil and good. Makes sense. Resistance. Good reaction. You know what thing. Spiritual weapon. Interesting. Magic circles, spirit guardians, of course. Spirit guardians, that makes complete sense. Very on theme. Divination, locate creature, legend lore has to be. Oh yeah, and Regal's presence. That's perfect. So, nice spell list and on theme. I love those are two things that mechanically I also struggle with. Is I will be covering Daggerheart. Yes, that's correct. So. Hilariously, so I had ordered Daggerheart, just to take a brief pause. I did order Daggerheart on Amazon, and it was delayed because they ran out of Daggerheart on Amazon, so I didn't get my copy. And then, the day after my last day, Daggerheart arrived, on my doorstep from Amazon. They fulfilled it. So, oh man, I am really obsessed with one particular class. I'm forgetting the name right at this moment. Somebody help me. I wish I had the book right in front of me, but it's very Vampire the Masquerade, where you would put points in contacts and then you would have all these contacts. It's the Syndicate. The Syndicate in Daggerheart is Chef's Kiss. It's the only thing I will probably ever play. So I'm just letting you know. It's all about having contacts, maybe having a sniper out in the shadows doing work for you. It's a lot of RP. It's a lot of world building stuff. If I get to Gen Con and I get to play Daggerheart, that is what I'm doing. So, love it. It's so fun. My crows are here. Okay, let's move on. Level 3, Visage of the Ancestor. Wait, we already did this, right? No. Wow, level 3, Visage of the Ancestor. Choose the form your ancestor takes, which may resemble the ancestor in life or a symbolic creature. While your innate sorcery feature is active, innate sorcery is nasty as hell. I love it. It's rage it's barbarian rage for sorcerers. While you're using your innate sorcery, which you should always be using, and while it's active, the form appears in a spectral haze around you, and you have advantage on any ability check you make as part of the influence action. Oh, that's good RP. I do like that. Okay, that's really solid. This is a great, they didn't mention cloning, but like if you want to play a character that was a clone of a previous character, this is another solid, like, This is another solid sorcery class to make that make sense thematically for your character. So this is a big win for me. I love having advantage on a kind of influence action. I love RP. Yeah, Harry Potter. Yeah, no, I can see it. So, all right, let's dive in. Superior Spell Disruption. Your ancestor's spellcasting mastery aids you in breaking spells. You always have counterspell and dispel magic prepared. One second. While your innate sorcery feature is active, you can cast each spell without using it, without expending a spell slot. You can cast counterspell in this way. If you do cast it this way, you give the target disadvantage on its Constitution saving throw. If you cast Dispel Magic in this way, you have an advantage on your ability checks to end ongoing spells. Once you cast either spell without a spell slot, you must finish a long rest. Nasty. Okay. That's really strong. As a villain, I'd be pretty angry. God, disadvantage. That's not a lot of casters with a high constitution in the first place, so that's some nasty stuff. Yeah, very strong. I like it. Level 14, Ancestral Majesty. Your ancestor's visage evokes awe or dread while your innate sorcery feature is active. You are surrounded by a magical aura with a 5-foot emanation. Whenever a creature you see enters that emanation or ends its turn there, you can force the creature to make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, the target has the prone condition or has the frightened condition until the end of your next turn. A creature makes the saving throw only once per turn. Yeah, I'm glad that's only once per turn. Wait. Surround the magic aura. Whenever a creature you can see enters the emanation or ends its turn, you can force that creature to make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, the target has the prone condition or has the frightened condition until the end of the next turn. Your choice. A creature makes this save only once per turn. Does that mean you can only use it once per turn? Or if a whole bunch of people jump in, you can do this to them over and over again? Yeah, I'm not sure what rules is written that is. All right. Level 14, Steady Spellcaster. Your deep connection with your ancestor steadies you. If people need the UA link, I can provide that right now. I'll go ahead and paste it. Oh, does Streamlabs let me do it? No. Rude. Yeah. Pasting in right now. There you go. That could be really a game changer. At least that keeps you from being too much of a glass cannon from anyone who's wanting to get into melee with you. Your deep connection with your ancestor at level 14, Steady Spellcaster. Steadies you taking damage, can't break your concentration on sorcery spells. Okay. That is strong. Your concentration cannot be broken. At level 14. All right. Level 18, Ancestor's Ward. Your ancestor's protection redirects harmful magic away from you. While your innate sorcery feature is active, you gain advantage on saving throws against spells. Once during your use of innate sorcery, when you fail a saving throw against a spell, you can choose to succeed instead. That's nice. Yeah, that's solid. This is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, this is it's almost a tanky sorcerer. I kind of miss the concept of the stone sorcerer because that was kind of a tanky one as well. All right, we're going to jump into the Hexblade Patron. Yeah, Hexblade Patron, Warlock. I'm glad we're revisiting this. So you forged a pact with a cursed blade. You made a pact with a sentient magical weapon and the cursed forces contained within its blade. Such a weapon could be a sword that's sheathed at your side, or it could be a manifestation of infamous magical weapon like Black Razor or the Sword of Kaz, projecting its power to further its legend. To those willing to follow the weapon's whims, these inscrutable patrons offer the power to bestow malignant curses, delivering punishing blows, or bolster the wielder. Hey, it doesn't have to all be evil. This could be Excalibur, Or at least it could be telling... If you're a Dungeon Master, it could be telling your player that it's Excalibur. So, it'd be pretty funny to be a Hexblade and not know that the thing was evil. So, design note. We got a lot. So, here we go. Hexblade spells have been revised. Hexblade's Curse has returned to its feature in its own right, but you can loop through spells that place a curse on a creature, such as Bestow Curse or Hex. Hungering Hex has been moved to this level, and a Curse Shield is a new feature. Unwilling Will is a new feature that grants you benefit when maintaining concentration on spells. This is great because you're in the melee. You gotta be getting hit with damage all the time. Trying to maintain concentration on something, you kind of need this. Malign Brutality, in a new feature that gives you additional benefits. Hindering Curse, formerly the Stimming Mark Maneuver, has been moved here. Armor of Hexes no longer has limited uses and scales with your Warlock level. Masterful Hex now increases the power and usability of the updated Hexblade's Curse feature. Nice. Okay. Let's look at the spells. Hexblade spells. The magic of your patron ensures that you always have certain spells ready when you reach a Warlock level specified in the Hexblade spells table. You thereafter always have the listed spells prepared. Now, a little history on the Hexblade. There are a lot of really great things about the Hexblade Warlock in the 2014 edition. It's just that so many of those really cool things people loved that they were so tied intrinsically to the Pact of the Blade that in the new Player's Handbook, they just became part of the Pact of the Blade. So Hexblade needs more fleshing out because of that. And that's a process. You get Arcane Vigor at level 3. Shield, Wrathful Smite. Level 5, Bestow Curse. Conjure Barrage, I love. Freedom of Movement. Staggering Smite. Conjure Barrage is interesting. Level 9, Anime Objects. Ooh, and you get Steel Wind Strike. That is one of my favorite spells. Especially thematically. So for a Hexblade to have Steel Wind Strike is perfect. Hexblade's Curse. Your patron grants you the power to curse and hinder your foes as a bonus action. Choose one creature you can see within 30 feet. Target is cursed for 1 minute, during which you gain benefits below. The curse ends early if you choose to use this feature again. Typical stuff. Or you die. So, you don't get to curse people while you're dead. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. And when you cast a spell using a spell slot that curses a target, you can use... Let's see, which way we're going. We're going left. Thank you for your patience. Your Hexblade's Curse as part of casting that spell. Oh, that's really great. Taking a bonus action. When you do so, the target of the spell is the target of your Hexblade's Curse, and your Hexblade's Curse's duration is either 1 minute or the spell's duration, whichever is longer. I need to kind of look at that again. So your patron grants you the power to curse and hinder your foes. As a bonus action, you can choose one creature that you can see within 30 feet of yourself. The target is cursed for 1 minute, during which you gain the following benefits. The curse ends early if you choose to use this feature again. Opposite. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, a minimum of once. You gain all expended uses. Okay. All right. This is a lot of text before you actually get to what it does. Hungering Hex. When the target is cursed by your Hexblade's Curse and drops to 0 hit points, you regain hit points equal to 1d8 plus your charisma modifier. Yeah, I love killing enemies and getting health. A cursed shield. While you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield, you gain +2 bonus to your AC while you're within 10 feet of the target cursed by your Hexblade's Curse. Nice. Nice to close the gap. Unyielding Will. When you succeed on saving throws to maintain concentration, whoa, each creature of your choice in a 10-foot emanation originating from you takes 2d6 necrotic damage. Once you use this benefit, you can't do so again until the start of your next turn. In addition, when you fail a saving throw to maintain concentration, you can choose to succeed instead. And you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to 1d10 plus your Warlock level. Once you use this feature, you can't do it again until you finish a long rest. That's really strong. Yeah, that's solid. I mean, you can just have this effect happen. You can choose the save. That's great. I love that. That really makes this fun to play. Wow. It does mean you definitely want a concentration spell up. Yeah. That's pretty nasty. But at level 3, you really need to be using a spell that has concentration. So, interesting. Yeah, weaponized concentration. Terrifying. Very, I wouldn't say tanky, but like magic combat friendly for sure. Let's go to level 6. Malign Brutality. I can't wait to like gamify that. I expect Kobe is going to figure out ways to really manipulate that in some way. Yeah, D4 Deep Dive is going to definitely find something. Level 6, Malign Brutality. Your patron's might furthers your bloodthirst, granting you the following benefits. Harrowing Hex. After you cast a level 1 plus spell that has a casting time of an action, you can make one attack with a weapon as a bonus action. Nice. You're always using your blade. Even when you're casting a spell. Love it. That is the dream. Hindering Curse. When you hit a target cursed by your Hexblade's curse with an attack roll, the target has disadvantage on the next saving throw it makes before the start of your next turn. I love a debuff. Really nice. When you hit the target cursed by that Hexblade's curse. So you hit him with a sword attack. Then you make sure they have to make some type of saving throw. Solid. Inescapable Hex. When the target of your Hexblade's curse ends its turn 30 feet or further from you, you can move up to your speed straight towards the target. You know, technically, rules as written, you can use a bow +1 magical weapon, which I think it takes you, 10 days or 5 days to actually make a bow +1? And then you can assign that as your Pact of the Blade. Level 10, Armor of Hexes. When you take damage from the target cursed by your Hexblade's curse, you can make a reaction to reduce the damage taken by an amount equal to your Warlock level. That's solid. Boy, you curse somebody that you own them. What a mess. I love it. You're very good at hitting one target and one target only. You were like an assassin. We're asking about the reaction. Let's take a look. Yep, it's a reaction. You take a reaction to reduce the damage. All the time we get, yeah. All right, level 14, Masterful Hex. I really like this version. It's really solid. It makes me want to play a Hexblade. The power of the Hexblade's curse increases, granting you the following benefits. A cursed critical. Any attack roll you make against the target cursed by your Hexblade's curse scores a critical hit on a roll of 19 or 20. Back to that. Yep, good. Always like to crit fish a little bit. Explosive Hex. When you deal damage to the target cursed by your Hexblade's curse, You can cause your curse to explode with sinister energy. The target and each creature of your choice in a 30-foot emanation originating from the target takes 3d6 necrotic, psychic, or radiant damage. And their speed is reduced by 10 until the start of your next turn. Once you use this benefit, you can't use it again until a long rest unless you expend a Pact Magic slot, no action required, to restore your use of it. This is a good way to get the heck out. If things have gone wrong. Or to keep them with you so they can't run. So, another really solid one. Yeah, this is... it's like every single movie or show you've ever seen where someone sees somebody else on the battlefield and just walks towards them and just wrecks them, and everyone else kind of ignores them for some reason. So, if this makes me terrified of Hexblades. Yeah, I know. Warlocks can't have everything. Hex Restoration, you regain 1 expended use of Hexblade's Curse when you finish a short rest, or you use your Magical Cunning feature. Alright, solid. That's really fun. Alright, what's everyone think so far? Because I need water, and to breathe. Alright. I think that's really solid. Gonna dive in again. Yeah, hello everyone who's joined chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're just jumping in, looking at the new UA. I'm not good at the whole like, subscribe, smash the bell kind of thing, but if you would do so, that would be of a huge help. Also, I have a new Patreon. If you want to support videos like this, I don't even like the word support necessarily. I'm trying to create content that everyone wants. And genuinely feels like they need, and they feel like they're getting a benefit from. So support is a weird word, I think, sometimes for things like Patreon, when you're just trying to create content that people definitely want. Everyone keeps on saying the link is broken, so I'll drop it in chat. If I had the wherewithal, I would just set it up in my... everyone help them if you would be so kind as well. Because we keep hearing that the link to the UA is broken for some reason. So, I'm going to drop it in chat again. There you go. Got it? Yeah. I'm liking the Hexblade. Liking it a lot. Oh, I'm so curious about the Conjurer. Alright. Everyone good? We got the link. I see a lot of friends in chat. Oh, Pack Tactics, hello. Thank you for joining the stream. Thank you again for Colby for joining the stream as well for D4 Deep Dive. I really love this community, and I love this community of creators. I got to meet a lot of these folks a couple of years ago at a party, and just in person, you're just like, everyone here is nice. It's not that you ever thought someone would not be nice, but you're just like, we like have all these cool war stories and like what we've gone through as creators on YouTube. So it's very nice. Hilariously, the thing I connected with, I got to meet Ginny D. I worked with her on a Lego live play show in Denmark, and we're giant analytics nerds. So that was fun. So, Conjurer Wizard. Step across space and call creatures from thin air. You consider distance and matter to be flexible guidelines rather than physical laws. I love the writing. Conjurers harness the power of magic that moves creatures instantly through space and summons creatures to fight on their behalf. Love it. Design note. 1 second. Just reading through. So, here are the main updates. Benign Transposition is now available at lower levels. Wow. And the new Distant Transposition and Quick Teleportation features improve it. Fantastic. Conjuring Savant now gives you a free conjuration spell to add to your spellbook. Cool. Durable Summons is now available at a lower level. Yeah. And the temporary hit points it grants are based on your wizard level. Love it. I always love the concept of conjurers, so. Let me move this a little bit closer. All right. So my face is less in profile. I have limited screen space. So, Inescapable Hex. The target of your... Wait, no. So sorry. Level 3, Benign Transposition. As a magic action, you can teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space that you can see. Love to teleport. Alternatively, you can choose a space within range that is occupied by a medium or smaller creature. If that creature is willing, you both teleport, swapping spaces. Love it. Very helpful. Boy, if you got like a fighter charging in or a paladin, or someone's rolling up on you because you're a glass cannon attacking you, and then you can swap positions with your paladin, and your paladin can smite them. That is a result. Anyone running up to a conjurer expecting an easy kill, and then suddenly the paladin or barbarian switches places with them is hilarious. Especially if it's like a world tree barbarian or anyone with the sentinel feature. It's nasty stuff. I love it. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until a long rest. You can also restore your use of it by expending a level 2 spell slot or higher. No action required. I love no action required. Level 3, Conjuration Savant. Choose 2 wizard spells from the Conjuration School, each which must be no higher than level 2. You add them to your spellbook for free. In addition, whenever you gain access to a new spell slot in this class, you can add 1 wizard spell from the Conjuration School to your spell slot for free. The chosen spell must be of a level of which you have spell slots. It's interesting. I wish I was a better dungeon master about making people pay money to learn spells. Because I feel like that's kind of the vibe of being a wizard, and you want that. I feel like I've failed a lot of wizards in previous D&D games of mine because I didn't really lean into that stuff. So, yeah, that's nice. Level 6, Distant Transposition. The range of your Benign Transposition feature increases by 60 feet. Wow. Additionally, you regain your expended use of it when you finish a short or long rest. That's great. Level 6, Durable Summons. 60-foot teleportation and being able to swap. Level 6, nasty. Level 6, Durable Summons. When you cast a conjuration spell or summon or create another creature using a spell slot, that creature gains temporary hit points equal to twice your wizard level when it first appears. Oh, wow. I love this. Just beefy summons. At level 6, you're living the dream. Ooh, I can't wait to find out what the Necromancer is like if this is this way. Level 10, Focus Conjuration. Of course, taking damage can't break your concentration on conjuration spells. That's number 2 like this. That's 2 no concentration breaking, and that's level 10. But concentration is kind of your bread and butter, so. And now level 14, Quick Transposition. You can use Benign Transposition as a bonus action. Thank you. You also can use Benign Transposition as a reaction when a creature you can see makes an attack roll against you, but only to swap places with a willing creature. The creature that swaps places with you becomes the target of that attack. That can get interesting. You know what I'd like to... There are creators I want to work on stuff because I'm just going to shout out Colby again because he's top of mind. There's a lot of builds specifically for one character, like a good character build for all of you at home who are playing D&D. But I play D&D all the time with my wife, and we like to make characters that have like a teammate ability, right? Like we're always doing something like you're the battle master, and you give up one of your attack rolls, so you can let someone else make an attack as a reaction. So if the rogue can do a second sneak attack. I love stuff like that. So I would love to see more character builds where you have two character classes that just are in sync and kind of fastball special, when they throw Wolverine, that kind of thing. So, oh, good point. Swapping spaces with your summons. I didn't even pick up on that. I've been talking all day. That's a very good point. Beyond the switch spaces with your summons is nasty. This beefed up temporary hit point monster. Fantastic. God, what a nightmare. I love it. The Conjurer has teeth now. Enchanter Wizard. Entrance and beguile others. Your magic clouds or captivates minds. Some enchanters use their abilities to encourage peace and soften cruelty, while others use their mind-altering magic for selfish ends. Many enchanters fall somewhere in between. I can see that. Here's the updates. Enchantment Savant now gives you a free enchantment spells, of course. Enchanter Talker and Vexing Movement are new features that replace Hypnotic Gaze, giving the wizard new options to use it in and out of combat. Reflecting Charm replaces the former Instinctive Charm feature. Instead of compelling an attacker to choose a new target, the feature now reliably reduces the magic you take and might harm the attacker. Oh, the damage, not the magic, sorry. Bolstering Belief is a new feature to aid yourself and allies in many situations. Interesting. Okay, so level 3, Enchanting Talker. Whenever you make a charisma check, you gain a bonus equal to your intelligence modifier. Thank you very much. It feels weird to be an enchanter, not being good at persuasion, deception, intimidation. And of course, you gain proficiency in one of those skills as well. Makes sense. That is the wish fulfillment working. Level 3, Enchantment Savant. Choose 2 wizard spells from the Enchantment School, each of which must be no higher than level 2, and add them to your spellbook for free. In addition, whenever you gain access to a new level of spell slots in this class, you can add one wizard spell of the Enchantment School to your spellbook for free. Choose spells. The chosen spell must be of a level which you have spell slots. Okay, same thing we saw before. So, Vexing Movement. Immediately after you cast an enchantment spell using an action and a spell slot, you can take both disengage and dash actions as a bonus action. Nice. You can use this bonus action a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier. Interesting. Level 6, Reflecting Charm. When a creature within 30 feet of you can see hits you with an attack roll, you can take a reaction to reduce the damage to you by half, rounded down, and you can force the attacker to make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On a fail save, that attacker takes psychic damage equal to half your wizard level, plus your intelligence modifier. I love to baked in Hellish Rebuke. Once you use this reaction, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. You can also restore your uses of this using a level 2 or higher spell slot. That's fun. It reminds me of the Ocean Druid a little bit, so I like it. I like making people pay to hurt you. Level 10, Split Enchantment. When you cast an enchantment spell such as Charm Person, it can be cast with a higher level spell slot to target an additional creature. It's like Twinning Spell. Makes sense for an enchanter. Increase the spell's effect by level 1. Oh, nice. Level 14, Bolstering Belief. Your enchantments fortify your allies' bodies and minds. You always have the power word Fortify prepared. With this feature, you can cast the spell without expending a spell slot. Each target of the spell has advantage on a saving throw to avoid or end charmed or frightened conditions, while it has temporary hit points granted by the spell. Once you cast the spell with this feature, can't do so again until you finish long rest. Cool. Any thoughts on that? Thank you, everyone, for joining the chat. I can do this all day. So, my voice might give out, but yeah. Necromancer Wizard. I love Necromancer Wizards. And Necromancer Wizards are interesting because, yes, they did appear in the DMG. I wouldn't say I love the 2014 version. But people have a romantic view of necromancers, and they're in our pop culture, and our books, and our shows to such a degree you kind of have to do it. So I'm very excited for a very revamped Necromancer, pun intended. So let's dive in. I love Necromancers. I would hate to be a Necromancer in real life for sure, but let's go. I love gothy energy. So you explore the cosmic forces of life, death, and undeath. As a Necromancer, you learn to manipulate the energy that animates all creatures. As you progress, you learn to use magic to drain life force from a creature, transforming its vital energy into magical power. Many see Necromancers as menacing. I don't. They're your best friend. Or villainous. Though not all Necromancers are evil. Remember that. Nevertheless, the manipulation of life and death is considered to be taboo in many societies. You shouldn't be hanging out with them. Oh, Death Domain was in the DMG. You're right. You're right. I am wrong. Necromancer was always in the player's handbook. Yep. Thank you for correcting me. I always get that jumbled up in my brain. Design note. Necromancer's update. Here are the main updates for the subclass. Necromancer Savant now gives you free Necromancer spells. We've seen this trend. Necromancer Spellbook is a new feature that incorporates the redesigned version of the prior Grim Harvest feature. Grave Power, Undead Secrets. Sorry, my nose is itching. Grave Power, Undead Secrets, and Death's Master are new features. Undead Thralls has been redesigned to utilize the Summon Undead spell. Perfect. All right. Necromancy Savant. We've already talked about basically this for a couple other spells. You get additional Necromancer. Sorry. You get additional Necromancy spells at no cost. Nice feature to have a level 3. Here's the meat of it. Necromancy Spellbook. Secrets of Necromancy magic in your spellbook grant you additional powers. You gain the following benefits. Necrotic Resistance, of course. Grim Harvest. When you cast a Necromancy spell using a spell slot, choose yourself or a creature you can see within 30 feet of yourself to gain a number of temporary hit points equal to the level of the spell slot, plus your intelligence modifier. I like that you can now help your party. That's really nice. Especially if you have party members that are freaked out that you're a Necromancer, but you're giving them temp HP. Plus the moral dilemma from some of your your fellow players might be interesting. Level 6, Grave Power. You have discovered more necromantic insights and inscribed them into your spellbook. While holding your spellbook, you gain the following benefits. Grave Resilience. When you use your Arcane Recovery, your exhaustion level, if any, decreases by 1. Okay. Overwhelming Necrosis. Damage from your wizard spells and wizard features ignores resistance to necrotic damage. Yeah. I love that. Because this is the problem when you're... Too often you become very focused on, like, I am this necrotic energy or this type of energy creature, and you're not getting benefits to damaging enemies. So, you should be able to hurt other undead sometimes, or creatures that are resistant. So, okay, here we go. Level 6 Undead Thralls. You always have the Summon Undead spell prepared, and you can cast it once without expending a spell slot. I love this spell. Summon Undead is the best. I don't love spells where you get punished for summoning undead if you break concentration, so Summon Undead is perfect, plus you get a variety of different undead that you can use. When you cast Summon Undead without a spell slot, you can regain hit points equal to half the summoned creature's total hit points, but doing so halves the creature's hit points. Oh, weird. Oh, man. I love it. I love trading that off and making that choice. That's fun. Once you cast the spell without a spell slot, you must finish a long rest before you do this again. Yeah, reduce, reuse, recycle. Oh my god, I love it. I love stuff where you have a trade-off. Mechanically, it just drives me crazy. I love it. All right, so level 10, Undead Secrets. You have learned more secrets about the nuances of life and death. When you finish a long rest, you can expend a level 4 plus spell slot to protect yourself from death. Until you finish a long rest, the next time you would drop to 0 hit points, your hit points instead change to a number equal to 10 times the spell slot expended. What? Wow. So just start your day. Start your day right, Necromancers. Burn one of those spell slots. And the next time you drop to 0, your hit points instead will change to a number equal to 10 times the spell slot expended. 10 times? This is level 10, so like level 10, you've only got like around 40 or 50 hit points, so you're just back up. Yeah, nice. Nasty. In addition, immediately after you take damage and are bloodied after taking that damage but not killed outright, you can take a reaction and teleport to an unoccupied space up to 60 feet from yourself, and each creature within 10 feet of the space that you left takes 2d10 necrotic damage. You're a weirdly tanky wizard. Ooh, I love that that the fact that you're bloodied, you're like weaponizing your blood. That is some Gen V creepy dark energy. It's nice. Yeah, effectively you are maxing. I mean, the previous feature, you basically have double your hit points. But what wizard who is sane would not choose to do that? Level 14, Death's Master. Abstruse rituals within your spellbook allow you to master the forces of life and death. While holding your spellbook, you gain the following benefits. Bolster Undead. As a bonus action, any number of undead that you have created or summoned with a necromancy spell that are within 60 feet of yourself, those undead each gain temporary hit points equal to your wizard level. Once an undead gains temporary hit points from this feature, you can't gain them in this way again. They can't for the next 24 hours. Any number of undead that you've created or summoned. That's within 60 feet. So you're just like, hey, I summoned a bunch of undead. Huddle up, boys. Get some temp HP. This is like the leadership feat, where you give a rousing speech and everyone gets a little bit of temp HP, but this is darker. I'd still make a speech. Harvest Power. When you use Grim Harvest, the target creature, that creature gains temporary hit points, gains one of the following benefits of your choice. Oh, interesting. Which lasts until the end of the target's next turn. God, there's a lot of features. Level 14. The target has advantage on attack rolls. Cool. Target has advantage on its next saving throw it makes. Cool. Pretty close to being done. Transmuter Wizard. You transform your energy into matter. I think the Necromancer is really cool. I'm really excited. It's a good day to be a gothy, creepy player character. So you study spells that modify energy and matter. To you, the world is not a fixed thing, but eminently mutable. Your magic gives you the tools to become a smith or reality's forge. God, the writing is actually really great. Some transmuters are tinkerers, pranksters. Yeah. Others pursue magical studies with deadly seriousness, seeking the power of the gods to make and destroy worlds. Man, just send the 2 paragraphs. That's all you need. The vibes. It's great. Here's what's changed. Transmutation Savant now gives you free, spellbook. Stone, you gained the stone earlier. Wondrous Enchantment and Split Transmutation are new features. Potent Stone is a new feature that gives you more options for your Transmuter's Stone. Master Transmuter is revised. And restores hit points and can remove a curse. Okay. Transmutation Savant. This is the same thing we've seen. We don't need to go over this again, but you get free transmutation spells. The Stone, level 3. When you finish a long rest, you can create a magical pebble called the Transmuter Stone that lasts until you use this feature again. A creature with this stone, I forget, you can give this to someone else. In possession of it, gains a benefit from which the following options it has, which you choose when you create the stone. You can change the stone's benefit when you cast a transmutation spell using a spell slot. Dark Vision, 60 feet. Nice. If it already has it, another 60 feet. Speed. The bearer's speed increases by 10 feet. My wife Megan always tends to play speedsters, so I give her anything that gives her more speed. Durability. The bearer gains proficiency in Constitution saving throws. Resistance. The bearer gains resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder damage. You have to choose. Take some forethought. Level 3, Wondrous Enchantment. You always have the Enhance ability prepared spell, and you can cast it once without a spell slot. Cool. Targets of your Enhance ability also have advantage on saving throws using the chosen ability. Okay, that's great. Level 6, Split Transmutation. When you cast a transmutation spell, such as Fly, you can cast it with a higher level spell slot. This is, we're seeing a lot of this with these wizards in particular, which kind of reminds me of, kind of juicing with like an innate sorcery. It's not quite the same, but yeah, additional creature increases the spell's effective level by 1 number of times equal to your intelligence modifier. So I'm seeing just a kind of overall design. Level 10, Potent Stone. Your Transmuter Stone is now more versatile. You can choose up to 2 options when you create your Transmuter Stone. Good. You can choose each option rather than resistance only once. Good. If you choose resistance twice, you must choose different damage types. Of course, they don't stack. You can change either or both benefits when you cast a transmutation spell using a spell slot. Level 14. As a magic action, you can consume the reserve of transmutation energy stored in your Transmuter Stone to choose one of the following benefits. After you do this, it crumbles to dust. Panacea? The bearer regains a number of hit points equal to twice your wizard level. Strong. It's good. By level 14. And then ends a curse, but you can give it to someone else. So, includes the target's attunement to a cursed item. Oh, okay. That's nice. Restore life. You can raise the dead without a spell slot. This is the one who should do it. Though I honestly kind of wish Necromancers had Revivify and Raise Dead, but I lose that battle. Using the stone in place of normally requires material components. Restore youth. The bearer permanently appears 3d10 years younger to a minimum of young adulthood. Interesting RP here. Restore youth. So you're not actually increasing the life of someone, but you make them look younger. There are like magician, there are kings and queens and rich folk that would love for you to use this. Interesting. It's I mean, old school D&D used to have like this is how old you are when you die. You would like roll it at day 1. So that is the full UA. Wow. Curious what everyone thinks. I gotta bring it to full camera real quick. Thoughts. Hexblade is significantly improved and super fun. I love the magical tattoos. Monk. Necromancer seems really fun now. Let's see. What else really stood out for everybody? I like the Conjuration. It's pretty nasty. Yeah. Conjuration Wizards. Enchantment. I mean, these are improvements across the board. I've never played Transmutation Wizard, so I don't have necessarily thoughts on that. But then I feel like the Necromancer is really solid and is fulfilling some of that dream now. Yeah, certainly you can't take over undead that you run into, but I'm willing to like sacrifice that. What else? Hexblade feels really, really good. And I like the Ancestral Sorcerer. There's a lot of RP there. So, really strong Unearthed Arcana. And I'm not going to ever be overly, like, let's face it, I'm never going to be overly critical of any Unearthed Arcana because these are my friends who are making it. When I'm giving an opinion, it's often because I'm just excited to play something. So I'm not going to be a reviewer that is like, I give it a 9 out of 10. No, it's you just have to measure things by my level of excitement, which is very specific to me. So I love Hexblade because I love being a spellcaster who has a sword. That's the dream, right? I love being a Gish. I love necromancy stuff. I love teleportation stuff. I love a lot. I love teleporting around the battlefield. And Conjuration is just really cool. And I feel like this is the first time I've really fallen in love with the Conjuration. Arcane Archer, way improved. It's interesting. Arcane Archers are seductive. I have to understand that me as a human being, I'm a full caster when I'm playing. And that's just how I'm built. Some people are really just enjoy fighters or melee or some kind of like half caster, and I totally get that. I gravitate towards full casting. I don't mind being a glass cannon, and that's just who I am. So, but definitely scratches the itch. Ancestral sorcery is nasty. Necromancy is nasty. I have to say, wild magic sorcery is probably one of the, and my wife can attest to this. Wild magic sorcery is hard, because there are some really nasty things you can do with wild magic sorcery and saving throws, and timing things appropriately to start really getting those wild magic surges. I've been in love with wild magic since 2nd edition in the Tome of Magic when it first appeared, but necromancy and ancestral sorcery, pretty close. I think necromancy, it's just hard for me not to do. Again, I know clerics get all the clerics, druids, paladins get all the bringing people to life stuff. I really would like a necromancer who could raise the dead with consequences of some kind. But yeah, I think this is a really strong Unearthed Arcana. Oh yeah, Cad Bane would be a great Arcane Archer. That's a good point in chat. I think Arcane Archer, it is a specific scratch. And I've always loved that concept of an Arcane Archer. It's always been part of it, right? And I actually just watched, I don't know if anyone just watched 28. This has nothing to do with magical arrows, but arrows seem to be coming back in a big way. But yeah, lots of bow and arrow stuff in 28 years later. So that got me excited again. And my dad actually used to make bows. So for fun, because that's what my dad does. All right. Thank you, everyone, for this improv live stream. I will have a lot more news about what I'm up to in the future. I think all these subclasses are really fantastic. I do have a Patreon. Please check that out. I am going to Gen Con. I'm trying to get to Gen Con, I should say. I'm going to start trying to do more video interviews, more deep dives into character classes and builds. I'm reading through right now Daggerheart, which I'm loving a lot of stuff in Daggerheart, which is very good at wish fulfillment for characters. And the modular nature of that has been really amazing as well. So we're going to keep making content. It's great seeing all of you. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Way more people than I anticipated. I know the channel hasn't been doing much for the last 5 years, so I appreciate people showing up. And big shout out to the design team and the artists at D&D. Great work on all these Unearthed Arcanas that have been coming out. I think they're fantastic. Be sure you leave them feedback. That is how that team makes things better, because that's what they want to do. They're designers. They just want to make a game that you enjoy to play. And by doing that, you just leave your feedback. It's great to leave comments and all that stuff, but best way is to fill out those surveys for the design team. Bunch of fantastic, talented human beings. So, I appreciate all of you. Let me know anything I can do for you and any type of content you would like to see from me moving forward. I am hopefully going to start creating. I'm already working on several PDFs having to do with playtest materials. I'm relatively new to this process. I have done previous stuff that did get published, but I'm going to make mistakes when it comes to the playtest materials that I'm going to be publishing on my Patreon, and that will be eventually, hopefully, a Kickstarter to actually publish a book with player-facing options. So very much like a Xanathar's Guide to Everything type book, because I don't think we can ever get enough of player options. So I'm going to start doing that monthly, and those PDFs will start dropping in my Patreon. The link is popping up every once in a while. So please, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like it, ring the bell, all those silly things. But thank you so much. And any parting thoughts from chat before I hang it up? We've been streaming for almost 2 hours, so I'll give you some time. But I think this is a UA that really hits a lot of wish fulfillment that people have had, and it's I'm really excited for the future of D&D. All right. I'm calling it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I appreciate you. Thank you for all the nice comments on all the social channels and the DMs from friends. It has really meant a lot. It's been a hard week for sure. That was my absolute dream job, and that entire team is just all my friends. And so it's been really helpful for people to be so kind and reach out and supportive. It's really been amazing. So I cannot tell you how much it's meant. So anyways, before I get too maudlin, thank you so much for watching. We will have that typical smooth interviews that you expect. I don't typically do a lot of live streams anymore, but you will start seeing other interviews and content from some very notable people in the realm of D&D and other games start appearing on this channel, and even from a few video games as well. And we'll look into the live play situation. But I love you all. Thank you so much. Have a great day. I'm closing the stream down.